Hi everyone and welcome to Radull Live. Yes, we had a bit of a false start, but we are here, we are back. This is what happens with live TV, so you get used to it. Another Saturday to discuss sport, and today we are taking a trip to Tennis Land, yes, where we've never ever been. Shame on me. I am ashamed and I have owned it. So joining me today is the Secretary General of Tennis Kenya, Wanjii Karani, and Executive Officer Nduku. Executive Officer means what? For Tennis Kenya, first of all. Huh?
It's just a title.
It's just a title.
Yeah.
No, it means we have a full office and that we have a full-time person who sits in the office and just does tennis work.
Oh, that's fantastic! Because most people do side hustles and then you come in. Your sport work is a side hustle, but
Yes.
you're basically saying this is your main hustle. You work for Tennis Kenya 24/7.
Yes, I do.
That's fantastic.
I know.
How big is the tennis industry in Kenya, Wanjii? Just give us an outlay, because all we know about tennis is what happens internationally, and it's like Kenya doesn't have tennis, but we do.
Yes, we do. There's a lot of tennis in Kenya. We're a small federation, and but we're an old federation. We've been around since 1922, so we're just about to celebrate our
100 years.
Yes.
Are we gonna have a bash?
We plan to, or we planned to before COVID. We actually wanted to host the ITF General Assembly in Kenya for our 100th, but
And
now with
ITF
COVID, we're
is
not
the
sure.
FIFA of tennis.
That's right. It's the International Tennis Federation.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and tennis is all over the country. It's played in a lot of schools, but more specifically in 14 counties is where we've activated it. We do not have. We have like maybe 300, 400 registered members, but we have a lot more who are actually not, registered but playing non-sanctioned tournaments, and
Fans of the game who play over the weekend.
Yes,
Let me just send a few shout outs to people who've tuned in. Raima Jaka says present. Raima, share the link again. You shared it, then we had a full start. Share the link again. Actually, anyone who's watching, please share the link so that all your friends know that the show has started. Let me see. Christopher Mutsotso Shivutse says, from Ejinja Kona Kakamega, I'm watching. Ndiwa Georges is watching from Kitale. Lily Schick Stevens is watching Nadal versus Nore. What a coincidence. Oh, and basically that is what Kenyans know about tennis, what happens on the international scene. Raima says, all I know about tennis is it's played on a rectangular flat surface and there are some players. Raima, you're embarrassing me. Winnie Richards Dikizela says, welcome back. Yes, it was a full start. Please share the link again so your friends come and watch. But what is tennis? For those who have no clue, for those like Rama who knows it's played on a rectangular court. I think she said pitch. Did she say pitch? Or she said surface? Introduction to tennis, the game. A quick one in like 30 seconds.
Okay, so tennis is a game that is played by two players. That's
Or 4
singles,
players.
or 4 players, which is doubles. And you can also have mixed. You have a boy and a girl, and a boy and a girl.
Mixed doubles.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's basically.
I actually know that because I did play tennis when I was in school. So I'm not that green. Coach Rosemary has offered to give me a lesson, which I will highly accept. But you played tennis. You both played tennis. How did you get to play tennis of all sports, Wanjii?
Well, mine is a long story, so I'll just cut it short. But just to say, to add on to what Nancy was saying, we are different from table tennis. Most people think we are one and the same, but for the ones who don't know, we are completely like 2 different federations, 2 different sports. So for me, I started playing because my dad was a tennis player. He just decided that was a sport he wanted. So I used to go watch him, pick up the rackets after they finished playing, and then I discovered I was good. So I continued playing into juniors, played for the junior Kenya team, then the national team, won Kenya Open a couple of times, and then trained to be a coach.
Oh, you won Kenya Open?
I did.
So you were the
yes.
national champion?
I was.
Wow, and we don't know these things. Shame on us.
Yeah. So then I started coaching, and then from there, I got into the office. Actually, the job that Nancy is doing. When I was finishing my university, I was like, I just studied communication, but I just was so drawn to sports. So I went and told the president then, I want to work in the tennis office. He had no money to pay me, but I was like, it's fine. You know, when you're young and 20 and yeah.
Starry-eyed.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to one day pay my bills.
Yes. So I started I was an executive officer for a couple of years, then moved on, but still stayed in tennis. So I've been in tennis like almost all my life.
But you do have to have another job to sustain yourself. Does tennis pay bills in Kenya? Apart from
not yet.
one person in the office.
Yeah, so for us we are volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a whole council of volunteers that run the sport. So the only people we employ are an executive officer, a national coach, and how many? Maybe 3 assistant coaches.
Yes.
And a couple of junior tennis initiative coordinators. There are how many? 3. Yeah.
3.
Around the country. So those are the only people paid to do it. The rest of us.
And players have to play also as a side hustle, or do they make any money from tennis? Those who play professionally.
They do. They make money, but they have to travel out of the country.
Mm.
We do not have enough tournaments to give them the prize money that would be able to sustain them. But also for people like the Davis Cup players or the Fed Cup, well now Billie Jean Cup team members, at least for about half the year, they do get a decent allowance, from tennis.
But like most sports in Kenya, Nancy, you need something else to pay your bills.
Unfortunately, yes.
How do you pay the people you do have on your payroll? Is it through sponsorship, through donations? How do you manage to pay? Where does Hash salary come from? Let me say that.
We make a little money from different areas, a lot of them being the events we run. Mm-hmm. So we just make sure that we make a little more so that we can be able to run our office. We are a very busy office. Mm-hmm. We probably have, I don't know, how many events, Nancy?
So 8 international junior in the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's for 18 and under. That's ITF.
That's hosted by Kenya.
Hosted by Kenya.
And the ITF ranking ones.
Mm-hmm. Yes, then we have Confederation of African Tennis, mm-hmm. which is 14 and under. We host 4 legs every year.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we participate in the other events. That's Africa Junior Championships for 18, 16, and 14. And then the others are local events.
Tennis is primarily played by very young children, if I can say. I mean, what's the lifespan of a tennis player? An active, not lifespan, sorry, career span of a tennis player. I mean, when do you retire? Because like football, it's basically by the time you're 34, 35, assuming you're still fit at that age, unless you're a goalkeeper or Cristiano Ronaldo, you retire at that age.
Mm. Same as tennis. Well, unless you're Serena Williams or Roger.
Who can go forever and
who are almost 40 and still playing. I think Serena is now in the round of 16, and she's 39. So, but usually about 32, 34.
These tournaments you were telling me that you have throughout the year, I mean, does tennis run as a league or it's just these tournaments? How does tennis work in Kenya?
So it's just, we have different categories of events. Mm-hmm. So we have what we call tennis tents, which is for players who are aged 4 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. And that's where we introduce tennis to players. Mm-hmm. And then now they advance to juniors, which is from 11 years all the way to 18. And then after that, they advance to the senior teams, which is 18 and above. And then now we have the social people who do tennis for fun. And
all these age groups, do they enter a league, or it's just the competitions that you have throughout the year? Do they advance? You see the way the football or rugby, these other sports operate. Mm-hmm. You gain promotion and demotion and relegation from different leagues. You can win the league title at the end of the year. How does it work for tennis? Sorry, I'm so green.
No. It's good. So tennis is an individual sport.
Yeah.
So, it's everybody playing. You choose which tournaments you're going to play, but they are ranking tournaments. So from each tournament, you get a ranking. So then that shows where you are on the list. So we do not have any running leagues right now. We have on and off, but that's not what gives you the ranking points. You'd have to play the ranking tournaments.
And you're saying you're very busy. Do you make money at all these tournaments? Is it through people who come and watch, or is it sponsorships? How do you make the money that you make?
It's from the entry fees.
From entry fees,
yes.
and people pay. What do you say to people who say that tennis is a bit of an elitist sport?
We've been trying to demystify that for very many years. But so yes, in a way, because a lot of the facilities we have are in clubs, but clubs have also opened up. Like now you can walk into public service or Nairobi Club and be able to play. We also have places like JD Tennis Academy and where else?
Karen, Muthaiga,
Yeah.
Mombasa Sports
Okay,
Club.
you're not helping your case. When you say Karen, Muthaiga, but it's a sport for everybody.
No, sorry, I meant the ones you can walk in. Yes, Karen Muthaiga are not the ones you can walk in. But there are many that have now opened up for people just to walk in and play. So if you've been a player, let's say in high school, and want to come and play tennis, you can just walk into Nairobi Club. Talk to Nancy and she'll give you a court to play. If you're looking for a coach, you'll find a coach there.
But in reality, even getting a racket and getting balls, they don't come cheap. I mean, it's you know, our team sports, between the 11 of you, you get one ball. You hustle for one ball. Now everyone has to invest in rackets, invest in balls, invest in membership fees and things like that. Do you have programs where you allow underprivileged children to also see whether they have a talent in tennis? Because you never know where the talent will come from.
Yeah, you want to go on that, Nancy?
Yes,
That's our
actually.
biggest. That's what we are there for.
Our top players are all from the underprivileged backgrounds. So it means we've given them the opportunity. So we have what we call Junior Tennis Initiative, which covers that docket. And let's say 80% of that, they come from Kibra, actually. So we have that program, and it is
We
fully...
have kids in Kibra playing tennis.
Yes!
Lots of them.
I need to tell Chris Darling, when he has his next football, Chris Darling Super Cup, he needs
Yeah,
to involve tennis.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But the courts are also limited. I mean, how many courts do we have in this country? It's not something you just
When we go
easily access.
proper tennis courts, we have less than 20. Like
In the whole country.
proper ones. All the others, I don't know how to define them,
Have
but
some
they are
grass
playable.
growing.
So we have like 80 playable, but standard tennis courts, we have like 20 in the country.
But as much as that sounds kidogo, when it comes to football, we have, I think, two or three stadiums. So it's actually not better.
With a playable surface. Yeah,
When it
you're
comes to
right.
swimming, I think
Yeah.
we only have, how many Olympic-sized pools?
One.
One at Nyayo.
No, even Nyayo is not. It's
Even Nyayo
Kasarani.
is not, it's not 50 meters?
No, it's like 49.
It's short by a meter.
Yeah, no, not even a meter. It's like a few feet. Like
I've
I
always
can
known
maybe
Nyayo
like
has
a
a
feet.
50-meter pool.
No,
Oh my
that's why they
goodness.
don't use it for competitions.
I remember at
Yeah.
Kenya High, they couldn't use ours for competition because it's 33 meters. They were like, at least if it's 25,
Yeah,
you got 4 lengths to do 100
yes,
meters.
yeah.
But ours was 33 meters at Kenya High. So, but generally speaking, it just shows that, unfortunately, we go back to our government that has sort of failed us, because when it comes to the infrastructure that's supposed to serve on a wide scale, it is the government's responsibility.
Yes.
Do they give you any support at all?
Barely. They give us very little support. Maybe in the last 2-3 years, we've received maybe 3
Once.
million shillings. Yeah,
Yeah.
3 million shillings.
3 million shillings
Yeah.
in 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Okay.
know, to take a team out. But all our other requests have not been successful. But just go back on the Junior Tennis Initiative. It's played because we play using mini tennis. So with mini tennis, you can play it on any surface. So you can play it in schools, and we've taken it to schools. How many? We are
In Nairobi, 24 schools.
24 schools around Nairobi, and they play in the car park or they play in the quadrangle. So that's where we start teaching them. And then the junior tennis coordinator is called, her name is Veronica, picks the top and then brings them to Nairobi Club to train Saturday and Sunday, and then during the holidays.
So you have methods for tapping players, basically.
Yes, we do, yeah.
Who do we have now? Because I think there's a name like I think Okutoy, someone Okutoy.
Oh, you must do
Who won a
better.
medal the other day. There's someone, I don't think Osodo or someone. Who are the tennis players in Kenya? Who are the Victor Wanyamas and Olungas of tennis in Kenya?
Yes, right now we have Angela Okutoy.
Mhm.
She's our bright, shining star. She's
I actually wanted
only-
to host her, but I was told she was traveling for a tournament.
Yes, yes,
Ah.
yeah. No, not for a tournament, for to a
Training.
high performance center
Oh,
for training. Yes, yeah.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
how good is she? I mean, if you were to rank her, can she break into the international scene?
Yeah, currently she's 127
7.
in the world.
That's impressive.
It is.
That is actually impressive. A Kenyan who's 127 in the world.
Yes, in the world. yeah.
Ranking.
Mm-hmm.
How old is she?
She's 17.
So she has, if she gets this proper training, we can begin to see her on the, what are they called?
Junior Grand Slams, and then
Yeah.
now into the
And then
major.
into the WTA tour.
Damn.
Yeah.
Angela Okutoy, mark that name. By
Yeah.
the way, when she comes back, you need to get me an interview.
Yeah, that we will.
Who else do we have who we can look out for?
Now we have on the boys' side we have Derek Ominde, who just came into now top 1,000. He was 1,000 plus, now into top, and then the others are just coming up. The others have graduated into senior. So in terms of best player male, it's called Ishmael Changawa. Maybe you might have heard of the Changawa siblings.
Yeah, we have Changawa siblings and they're top.
Tennis really needs attention.
It does.
Because you guys are doing well quietly.
Yeah, we are very busy.
There's someone who attacked me yesterday on social media and they said, yeah, but some of these federations, when you make noise about them, then we'll begin to see what's wrong with them. But I was like, that's a very shallow way of looking at something.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I don't want to hear about a tennis player when she's won something and then all of a sudden we're like, hey, buying you breakfast. That's a Kenyan thing, eh?
Yeah.
When you've hustled on your own and you achieve something, then we buy you breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read a few comments here. Ngesti Dunga says, ask them how hard is a tennis player's life? Okay, such an open-ended question, but you've both played tennis. What challenges did you go through as a player?
For me, I played, I would say a bit late, because I was introduced to tennis in high school, in 4-4. And then I made it to the nationals, and that's how I got into tennis. But along the way, as we say, the equipment, it's a challenge. Access to tennis courts then was a challenge. But now we have diversified our sport, and I think most people are able to access whatever they need. And then again, we had one person supplying equipment, Nairobi Sports House, and now other companies have come up, and now things are quite price friendly.
They've improved.
Yes.
In terms of a tennis player as an athlete, what type of training goes into being the best or playing for the national team? How many hours do you train a day, a week? What's the program like?
Whoa. So first, we run a high performance center here in Kenya.
Ah,
Yes, yeah, an ITF as International Tennis Federation and Tennis Kenya High Performance Center. We've been having 12 players from all over Africa who come here, reside here, school here, and play tennis. So we just got suspended because of COVID,
oops.
so they had to go home. But they were doing maybe 4 hours of tennis and a few hours of gym
A day.
and a day. And so they are not able to go to your conventional school. They have to go to, they do online schooling. And so we have tutors with them in their residentials, and they have a few hours a day of schoolwork. Yeah.
So, wait a minute. I'm discovering things I didn't even know was happening on our doorstep. Are there other high-performance centers in Africa?
Yes, so the other one is Morocco, where Angela has gone now. So we had
Okay.
2 in Morocco and one in
Fiji.
and one in Fiji. So there are only 3 in the world. Yeah.
And one is here.
And one is here.
Damn! Hey, Okay, we need to keep in touch even after this. A few comments here. Princess Nelly says, "Damn, I didn't know we had tennis in Kenya. What a shame." She's also embarrassed like me. We need to be. Karani Kimosabe says, "I like ladies tennis, especially without fans." Why? What does he mean? What does he mean by that? Obimbo Woda Chieng. Hey, these lures of mine. "When I grow up, I want to be a tennis scores announcer. I have a nice enough voice and I can say 40 love in a sultry accent." Seriously, that's not all an announcer does, but it is quite impressive when you listen to them. Okay, Yulem Handsome KE. People really need real names on social media. He's commenting on my voice, so I won't even read that. Edna Kurgat Edo says, "Big up Nancy Nduku, taking tennis to the next level. Hashtag tennis Kenya, hashtag for the love of the game." So you do have some fans in Kenya. Do many people come to watch? Where do you actually play when you have your tournaments? Where's
Nairobi
the
Club.
Nairobi Club is the center of tennis
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Is that where your offices are as well?
Yes.
So if somebody wants to play tennis, they think they're good, they can come to Nairobi Club.
Yes.
Nairobi Club is the one next to traffic police.
Yes.
Somewhere there.
Yes.
Community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just walk in, ask for the tennis section, you'll find Nancy. And
Okay.
she'll sort you out.
Generally, what are the challenges do you face as a federation? It is a federation. Tennis Kenya is a federation.
Yes, it is a federation.
What are the challenges do you face? I mean, what would you like if somebody's watching from either the government, corporates? How can they step in and help?
Of course, like all federations, it's financial.
Mhm.
And tennis up to a level you can play, but there needs a point where you have to put in a lot of money. So like for now, maybe Angela, if we are to get her to under 100 and get her into WTA rankings, she has to travel to tournaments. So that requires quite a bit of money.
And right now, I imagine there's heavy support from parents, as in your parents need to be behind you. Do they foot those bills? Because I know, like, when I spoke to people from the Swimming Federation, they're saying most of the time, if you're lucky, you get flight paid. If not, your parents have to actually pay for your flight.
Yeah, with Tennis Kenya, the thing is we also have a lot of support from our IF. And so in terms of traveling for some teams like under 14s and under 18s, we do get a small grant. So that helps us. You know, we just need to top it up and then
The International Federation gives you money.
They give some grants.
It's never enough.
No, it's never enough, yeah. But that's how come we do not ask parents most of the times to chip in. For us to ask them to chip in is because really we have nothing. But most of the times we pay, if they're going to AJC or zonals, or we pay for it, Davis Cup, Fed Cup.
What's corporate response been like?
Not good, because we do not have the numbers. We do not have. We are not able to pull enough spectators yet. Yeah, and that for us also boils down to the facilities. Without good facilities, we're not able to attract top players from around the world, which means then we do not get spectators coming in.
Yeah, because corporates want to see those spectators.
Yes, yeah.
For the longest time, the only thing I knew about tennis in Kenya was Sadili Oval. And that, if I'm not wrong, was kind of the center of tennis at the time. Was the federation based there at the time?
Yeah.
You've always been at Nairobi Club.
I've always been at Nairobi.
It's just Dr. Odera who was really, really loud about
Yes.
and deliberate about her tennis
Yes.
focus. Because she's the one who hosted Serena Williams. Because Serena Williams did come to Kenya.
She did.
At some point.
Yeah.
Did you meet her?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
I'm jealous! I'm jealous!
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I
And,
admire her so much.
I know. She is
Who do you
amazing.
admire in international tennis? Apart from Serena. I think if you ask any black girl.
I'm a Djokovic fan.
Djokovic.
Federer
Yeah.
fan.
I'm a Federer fan. High five.
Go away.
FedEx Express.
I know.
Let Djokovic,
Most people.
let him survive as long as Federer has survived. You know? But then you see, when we watch international, there's the tennis and there's the playing on clay, things like that. Do we separate that here, or we just what type of courts do we have here? Do we separate clay and what do you call it? Grass? Grass which is not really grass.
So in Kenya, unfortunately, we don't have grass. So we have clay, which we call maram here because it's not proper clay.
Not proper clay.
What?
And then
Radull can't play on it.
no.
Because Radull is the king of clay.
Yeah.
And then on the coastal region, mostly are hard courts. Coastal and also the western side. We have
Hard
some.
courts is what?
It's a tough, but
It's between concrete and rubber or something.
yes.
Oh.
So it's like you put concrete and then there's a rubber that you pour on top. Yeah.
Mhm. And which is tennis big outside of Nairobi, like Mombasa? Where else is tennis big in the country?
After Nairobi, we have Mombasa.
Mhm.
Then the western region is slowly coming up. That's Kisumu, Kitale, those sides, and Nakuru.
My relatives play tennis.
Kisumu even has a center.
In Kisumu?
Yeah.
Where?
It
If
even
someone is
has
watching
a-
and they want to go and register, can they register?
It is, okay, I wouldn't remember the name of that road, but it's opposite, near the Polytechnic somewhere. There's a school there. I know. We'll post it.
You'll get. Let me
But there's
see.
a place with courts apart, which is not, which is out of the clubs.
Let me see. Joseph Kioko here says, much love from Machakos County. Sisi, uko tennis. Tunaiona schools too. There's a lot of schools that,
Yes.
because it's bigger in schools. Schools.
Actually, in Machakos,
Mm.
to add, we have wheelchair tennis.
Ah.
Yes, so in Machakos, wheelchair tennis is more like vibrant because of the Masaku School for the physically disabled.
Mhm.
But to add on that, our team has won the Africa qualifiers and gone to the world 4 times, our women's team,
Oh.
and our men's team 2 times. Unfortunately, again, due to lack of funding and also the equipment, because a wheelchair, the cheapest wheelchair is around $500,000.
The one you can play tennis with.
The one that you can
Yes.
play with.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really limiting.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, but I get frustrated because the potential of all the sports in this country, you know, I mean, if we just had 2 or 3 players like, say, this Okutoy lady, Angela, it would put Kenya on a different scale when it comes to tennis, because even the young ones would be like, we have somebody to look up to.
Yes, yes.
Because I imagine there's so much talent that doesn't even get to you guys. Does that frustrate you?
Completely.
What do you want done about that? I want you to get angry. Like me, I'm angry every week. Discussing sport makes me angry.
Yeah, I know. My passion is development of the sport, so
Mm.
I do get angry. I mean, I want tennis to be everywhere, but it's that's how come we try to hold county activations, but again, it's limiting sometimes when they do not have the facility to continue. But we're really trying to hold coaches courses and player clinics around the country.
Actually, there was a comment. It's disappeared, but someone had asked about coaching. As in, do we have trained coaches? Do you train coaches? What's the setup like for coaching? Or do you get foreign coaches? What happens?
Our coaches are amongst the best in Africa.
Kenyans.
Yes, Kenyans.
Really?
Yeah. You mentioned Rosemary. Rosemary is one of the
yes.
top women coaches in Africa. We have Francis Rogoi, we have
Caroline Odor.
Caroline Odor.
And they were coached here?
Yes. So we also hold coaching courses throughout the year. And so all of them actually have done their level 1, level 2, level 3. Sometimes they may go out, but yeah, we have many coaches.
You know, so basically, as much as we only know Kenya for athletics and football, we are louder than our achievements, especially when it comes to our Harambee Stars.
Yeah.
We actually have the potential to be a tennis powerhouse
Yes.
if we only took it seriously.
That's right. Actually, give us facilities. We'll give you the stars. So
I
that's
like
what
that.
we are
Give them the
chasing right now.
facilities, they'll give you the stars.
Yeah.
Ochiweda says, great leadership there. Let me see. Then he says, how many qualified referees do we currently have in Kenya to referee in international matches? You said you became a referee after playing.
Yes, I'm actually an unofficial, I would say, a chair umpire, national, waiting to advance to the next level. But we have our highest referee is Patrick Kamoya. I think he's top. His he's just one level to being a top referee. He's a silver badge, so the highest is a gold badge. So you have national, white, bronze, silver, and then gold. And then we have like 7 white badges, and then 20 national officials.
And you're a national official?
Yes, I am.
So at the game you can go 40 love.
Yeah.
That would do for us.
And some of our officials, by the way, have done Grand Slams.
Really?
Yeah, Patrick, Ronnie, and
They've gone to Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Patrick is currently in South Africa.
Yeah.
Just for you people to understand, it's like our referee is going to ref the World Cup.
Yes.
The FIFA World Cup.
That's right.
This is actually impressive. Let me see where we can get any other... Ronald Okoth. Ronald is a footballer. He retired the other day, but now he has an academy. He was a striker for Sofapaka and Gor Mahia at some point. He says, I used to play tennis in high school, went all the way up to nationals until I lost interest because the sport is not that popular up country, so I shifted to soccer. Hopefully something can be done to make the sport popular up country. Is that something that's on your agenda? It's back to the same thing of resources.
Yes, yeah. But like this year, our goal is participation, just to try and get as many people participating in tennis. Yes, so it's right up there in our strategy.
Yeah. Ochiweda says best managed federation in the country. Okay, I don't know where he's basing that on. But
We've won awards.
You've actually won awards,
Yeah.
best run federation.
Yeah.
You guys don't have issues of corruption and infighting
No.
and...
No.
It's not just that we've not reported it.
No. Yeah.
You all have a good relationship in terms of officials of Tennis Kenya.
We have a fantastic relationship. And I think one of the things that I always say is probably because we have 50-50 male, female in the board.
Okay.
So I think that balance is just working. So
I saw a photo with more women than men.
Eh?
And I was
Yeah.
posting about
yeah.
We're just organized. We can't help it.
Yeah. So we have just disagreements like everybody, but we always come to an agreement at the end of the day.
As in you're putting sport first, because I feel that's what lacks in like football, or somebody's there to go into politics, to become an MCA, to whatever. It's a stepping stone to something else.
Yes, yeah.
So you don't really, so you guys basically put the sport first.
The sport is first, and even before that, the player is at the top of our pinnacle, you know. Everything we do is for the players.
It's focused on the players.
It's focused on the players, yeah.
So it's just us Kenyans to get behind you in terms of numbers so that you can attract corporate
sponsorship, yeah.
But then even if people come to watch the tournaments at Nairobi Club, what's the capacity of because we don't have any, like, the big tennis stadiums we see on TV.
So at Nairobi Club, the center court that's there can accommodate up to 900 people.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's great, yeah.
And how much is it to watch a tennis match?
It's usually minimal, 200 shillings, yeah.
Okay, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
Lily Schick Stevens says, my favorite is Serena Williams. I can't wait for her game tomorrow against Sabalenka. Apart from football, tennis is my favorite sport. That is nice to hear.
Yeah.
And on the international scene, I mean, what are your dreams? What are your dreams for our players? Would you, of course, you'd want to see them instead of us all crowding around Serena or this what's this new young girl?
Naomi.
Naomi.
Yeah.
We'd like to see one of our own up there. Do you think we're going to see it in our lifetime? Do you think Angela's going to get there? And there'll be more Angelas?
I definitely think so. And also because what we've been doing all these years is once the players reach 18, usually because we do not have the funding just to focus on one player and take them around the circuit to turn professional, we always send them to the US to play college tennis. So now we realized we're losing so many players. They finish here, they go, and once they go, then their tennis kind of stops.
It dies out.
Yeah, so now we are focusing on just trying to get our players to turn pro. And yeah, there's a Tunisian who's
lost yesterday
she
to
lost
Naomi.
yesterday, yeah, in the third round. And so it's fantastic to see other Africans going out there, and we are inspired by it. And think
what can we do to help? What can anyone watching? What can the fans? What should the government do to help? we just focus more on tennis? Because nobody's focusing on you.
Yeah, well, our biggest dream would be to have a facility that, it would be a walk-in, a public facility that people can just walk in to play, where a coach, if you have a player, can come and...
Sorry, I'm thinking 5 state-of-the-art stadiums. It's just going through my head. Stuff we're still waiting for the last 10 years.
I know, and we are actually, it's not that we've not started. We actually have approvals from the government and everything. We've been given a piece of land at Karani. But now the next stage where you're actually supposed to get the money is where we've gotten stuck.
As in, how do you fund it?
Yeah. So that's where
Are there any international partnerships we can have? Because, I mean, such things, you need partners.
Yes.
They're not cheap.
That's right.
Are there any international partnership? The Chinese, we've sold our souls to them. We can sell one more soul. They built for us a stadium.
If we can find them, we have no problem with them building us a stadium too.
Because I find infrastructure, we underestimate the power of infrastructure. Because like in football, it's not just for the players, it's even for the fans who say that they're just not comfortable to go to certain stadia. They're not clean, there are no toilets, there are no facilities. So the infrastructure is not only for the players, it's for the fans.
Very
and the fans
important.
I don't know if Kenya we realized how critical fans are to get sponsorship.
Yeah.
You've mentioned it, you don't have the numbers. It's so hard to convince people, corporates, to invest in the sport.
Yeah.
What ideas do you have? I mean, when you go to see, say, the soda companies or the telecom companies, what do you sell? I'm imagining you're knocking on their doors.
Always knocking on their doors. Chicken egg situation. We would like, we want them to support us so that then we can put up the profile of our players, which will then bring in the fans, because there's somebody they're actually coming to watch. But then again, we need money to get that player to that place. So we're always asking them, please give us a try. Give us 3 years and we'll be able to turn around the sport to be able to get the fans in, and then you can get, but I think they would still be able to get value. Even now we are all online. We've had a couple of online matches, so I think that's a good step, and we'll be able to give them the visibility.
You beam them live?
Yeah? Yes.
You stream them live?
Yeah. Because this came with COVID, so we've not had a chance to really do. We've done two. We've done 2 of them, yeah.
2 are like online tournaments?
Yeah. Like live matches.
Live. Yeah, had them aired live, yeah. Because then we feel we can give sponsors that visibility that they're looking for, yeah.
How did COVID affect you last year? I mean, it affected the whole world, but specifically tennis. How did it affect you?
It did.
For the players, actually everyone in tennis who earns a living from tennis, whether fully or partly, they were all affected, because now tournaments had to stop, and we had to work from home, and we were not sure actually how the future would look like. But again, we saw an opportunity when some of our players were not able to have a meal, and our very able Secretary General started a campaign called Stay at Love, and we managed to raise over 500,000 and fed like 500 families across 7 months.
Wow, so you had your own initiative to make sure that tennis players get through this period.
Yes, yeah.
Because it must have been tough.
Yeah.
I mean, it was tough for all of us. I still have a 30% pay cut, which I wonder when it's going back to normal. But yeah, that was the reality on the ground, that companies had to take steps, not just sporting federations. But you were given the all clear by the Ministry of Sports to get back into action.
Yes, we did, towards the end of the year. And we hit the ground running, because a lot of people depend on tennis. As I told you, we have a full calendar the whole year round. So a lot of them depend on those tournaments to earn some little money, officiating or coaching, and those are the guys who are really affected during COVID. So we felt the need just to start immediately. Yeah.
But I guess for tennis, you're a bit fortunate compared to other sports, because it's like an individual sport. Other sports, they have to really wait because they're like contact sports. You're like, you can't just get back into active sport. But I guess you had to go through the protocols, as in get tested for COVID, make sure your members are looking after themselves, and the stuff you can't even follow up, because when someone goes home, I mean, with those fears, I guess there were fears for everybody.
They were. It was, it was tough. It was tough.
Especially, they just concluded, we had 3 weeks of the international events, where we had almost 150 participants from across the world. And when they did their COVID tests, everyone was crossing their fingers. And luckily, no one turned out positive. And they all went back safe and sound. So it's also because of the strict measures that we've put in place. Everyone, their temperatures are taken. Just stay within the same group that you traveled with. And
because you hosted a tournament. This is the tournament we hosted. Was it last month? Like 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
You know, I was talking to Rosemary on LinkedIn. Actually, on LinkedIn. And she's telling me, right now we are hosting an international tournament in Kenya.
Yeah.
Which countries had come for that?
We held 3 weeks of it.
we had over 40, over 20. So France, we had Belgium, South Africa, players from the USA, Nepal, name it.
They were here in Nairobi for an international tournament last month.
Yes.
And we didn't know. I am ashamed. Again.
3 weeks of it.
Three weeks
three
of
tournaments.
It. Yeah, but you guys need to make more noise. I know
I
you do PR. Now I have your number. I know you sent me some reports this morning and stuff like that. Yeah. But I think let's keep the communication channel open, because it's the only way people get to know what's happening in Tennis Kenya, get to see how we can help, because a lot of people like tennis.
Yes, yeah.
But Kenyans also are lazy. It's here, Serena Williams, Australian Open, we'll watch.
Yes.
But unless you're offering us something really attractive, we won't leave the house to go and watch you at Nairobi Club.
Yeah.
But on a personal level, and we're about to wrap, on a personal level, I'm impressed. Yeah. I mean, keep up the good work. A federation without domains. A federation without domains.
Or who are able to deal with their domains.
Let me rephrase. They're able to. No, but you can't have anything without domains.
Yes, yeah.
But as long as you don't let it affect the bigger picture, which is focusing on the players.
That's right.
You know? Yeah. But again, like I say almost every week, Government of Kenya, Ministry of Sports, come in and support at least those going internationally.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
This program that Angela has gone for in Morocco, who funds that?
So Tennis Kenya has partly funded it. And so we've asked for GOK support, and we are praying that it comes through. But meanwhile, we had to try and do something, so like get the ticket so that she could just go first as we try to sort out the funding. And then in terms of smaller things like pocket money, we have people who have donated and just put a small kitty. And we are really hoping the government will come through at least for this one.
But it's so frustrating because if Angela succeeds, and she gets onto the grand, she starts playing in the Grand Slams or some of the bigger tournaments, what it would do to an entire industry as tennis, an entire industry as sport. Because I keep telling them, it's not just the player, it's the office you've hired, it's the doctors, the masseurs, the drivers, the legal people, the mini industry that can happen around sport can solve some of our government's unemployment problems. Yeah. But the investment needs to come first. You know?
It's true. One of the things we're really struggling with is we are hosting the High Performance Center, I told you. Yeah. And the government's commitment was to pay rent, but they haven't paid for almost a year. You know, so now we are in danger of being kicked out. And I wonder whether they just don't see that Kenya hosting a high performance, one of 3 high performance centers here.
There are 3 high performance centers in the world.
Yes.
One is in Fiji, one is in Morocco, one is in Kenya.
Yeah.
Government of Kenya pledged to pay rent for the one in Kenya.
Yes.
And they don't.
And they don't. You know, so it's so frustrating.
Where is it
I
physically?
tarmac those corridors of theirs. Every week we are there tarmacking. It's in Upper Hill. So the house is in Upper Hill, then they play in Nairobi Club. So, and government is only to pay rent. We pay the venue, we provide the facility, And the International Tennis Federation now pays the bigger amount, the traveling, the food, all that. So really, I mean, it's a drop in the ocean for what government is to pay. Because ITF is footing most of the bills. 80% of the bills they're footing.
So we can't do our 20%.
Yeah. And you know now the problem is we are in danger of losing it to Rwanda, to Burundi, who are waiting for us guys to mess up and they take it.
Like we lost NBA Africa. We actually lost. Kenya was supposed to be one of the countries playing in the NBA Africa. Whoa. And we were told, you don't have facilities. Did you see what Rwanda built in 6 months?
Yeah.
That basketball facility, that complex. Kenya lost out because we couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Because we are busy campaigning on the streets and spending our money and losing how many billions a day. It's so frustrating.
It's very frustrating.
And then we're lied to that they care about the youth.
Yeah. Even for the sports ministry to send back money when we have our players are not traveling because they're not able to fund us. So we don't know whether there's no money or we are completely stuck when it comes to the government.
And yet you go out and come back with medals.
Yes.
You'll be met at the airport.
Yeah.
You'll dine with who's who.
Yes. I mean, Angela just won those 2 weeks of the 3 weeks last week.
Yeah, I saw
totally.
photos of her receiving medals and did she get any recognition?
From where?
She didn't even get a tweet. By the way, it's our fault. We called our sports minister, sports CS, the tweeting CS, so she stopped tweeting. But that's all people used to get.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hosting the rugby ladies here the other day. You know, our rugby lionesses were the first Kenyan team to qualify for Tokyo 2020.
Olympics, yes.
And they had to beg and beg and beg for flights to go to, I think it was Tunisia, for the qualifiers. They didn't get. They ended up going to Tergat at Olympic Kenya.
Yeah.
Kenya at
Knock,
Knock.
yeah.
And Knock had already paid what they were supposed to pay, so they ended up paying more just to get the girls to Tunisia.
Yeah.
They didn't have any proper accommodation. They didn't have allowances. Nothing.
Oh, see that?
They came back, qualified for Tokyo Olympics, and got a tweet.
Yeah.
And our sports CS is the patron of the Kenya Lionesses.
Oh, she's a patron.
Yes.
Wow.
I get mad.
I know.
Sorry. I don't want
know.
anyone else to be sued. Me, I feel nothing, man. But it frustrates me because
it is frustrating.
the potential for so many people,
Yeah.
if the sport industry works.
Yeah. Very big. Very.
But good job, because I can tell your souls are in it. I can tell your souls are in it. Take the message back to the rest of Tennis Kenya.
Thank
Tell
you.
them we appreciate what you're doing. Now that I know, and Rosemary has offered me a
Yeah.
session, I think I'll come down to Nairobi Club.
No, yeah, we must
Karibu
bring you to
sana.
Nairobi Club. She must talk to our players,
Yes.
the JTI kids.
Yes.
Okay, I thought I
Yeah,
could play.
you're
but
their
no,
hero.
let me talk. Talking is what I do.
Yeah.
No, but I will
It'll be
do,
fantastic.
because clearly people are making a sacrifice for this country and there's no reciprocation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any parting words before we go? What are your dreams and aspirations? What would you like to say when you're stepping aside as SG and saying, I did this for the betterment of the game, but I put us on the path to this?
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, my dreams are to definitely take Kenyan tennis to the next level. My passion is development, so I want to see tennis in every little place, everywhere. And also, I would like us to have a seat at the table, decision table at the ITF, because a lot of what comes down always comes up from there. And they never know exactly what people like in Africa are.
What challenges you're going
Yes,
to?
yeah. So sometimes they make decisions that we are looking at and wondering, really? But I understand it's because they don't have. So we've actually started on that path, and last year we even tried to get our president into the board, and it was a good fight for such a small federation. But I believe if we tackle it from the top and from the bottom, we'll be successful in getting a few players to play the Grand Slams. And
Is there an Africa Federation?
yes, Confederation of African Tennis, yeah.
Do
So
we have a
if-
seat there?
We do have a seat there.
Oh, good.
Yes, yes, yes. So we are busy. Last year it was last year, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we put somebody in Confederation, the vice chairman, is Patrick Ishira from here. And James Kenani, who's the president of Tennis Kenya, and myself now are sitting on commissions in ITF. So we are also trying to break through to the top, then we can be able to help. But if we can just change lives in that way, then for me, I'll feel like my dreams will have come true.
Your job is done.
Yes.
Nancy, parting shot?
My dream is to have Kenya host the African Grand Slam.
Ah.
Yeah. With that, I'll be at
We've
peace.
never hosted it, I'm assuming.
There is none yet.
African, no.
Oh, there's none
Not
yet. oh, you mean like the
Like Wimbledon, US Open,
Yeah.
Like the Australian Open.
Because now there's Australia, there's Paris,
Yeah.
there's Wimbledon, there's
US
Open.
US Open.
What's the other one I've missed? I've missed one.
Therefore,
Roland
Therefore.
is France.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Roland
The-
Garros is
yes.
Paris
Yes.
Open.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just Australia, Paris, London, and the US Open.
Yeah.
So there needs to be an Africa.
And there needs to be one. Yeah, I agree with Nancy.
Our governor of Machakos is campaigning for Formula One to be, to be in Kenya. Until he heard that you have to put down a few billions shillings just to be able to host it.
Yes.
Rugby, I know they're trying the same to have one of the 7 circuits here, but again, facilities is what lets us down.
Facilities.
So that needs to be sorted out. But thank you, ladies. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for dropping by.
Thank
I've
you.
learned a thing about tennis, and I want to learn more. I hope you guys have learned a thing or two about tennis. And the next time you hear there's an international tournament, get down to Nairobi Club, 200 bob, surely. Yeah, just to. Let's not wait for you guys to come back with medals.
Yes.
Kenya.
And
That's all
tweets.
and tweets. And breakfast.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
We'll keep in touch, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching Radull Live. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. You don't hear people just want football, but once in a while I have to throw a curveball because there's life beyond football. Believe it or not. But thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week on Radull Live. Same time, same place. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.